Good afternoon. Today we are here with Randy Anderson, the head coach of the University of Cincinnati's men's soccer club, and one of his players, Mitchell Galvin. And we want to talk today a little bit, what are the main differences between club soccer and varsity soccer that we know at the college level? Obviously, University of Cincinnati is a Division I school, and they have a lot of different sports. Club soccer, a lot of people don't know about at the school. So what are some of the differences between playing for University of Soccer, the varsity, and University of Cincinnati, the club soccer?
Well, do you want to talk about your experience with varsity soccer, and then I can hit on what I see from a student standpoint?
Yeah, varsity is a real large commitment for a kid. You know, it's a full-time job. You're practicing twice a day. You've got study groups. There's a lot of commitment there. A lot of the kids that we end up with in our programs are kids who have opportunities to go play for varsity sports somewhere, but they're choosing their academics first. Most kids know that soccer's not going to be a career, but not all kids choose to focus directly on their education. The kids I get are kids that are going to be doctors and lawyers and engineers. You know, University of Cincinnati has a great co-op program and different things like that that you really can't take advantage of as well as if you're a varsity athlete due to the time restraints. So the kids could easily play, some of them at smaller schools or Division I programs, some of them as well too. They just choose to play club sports because you can fit it into a schedule easier. You know, I had to work when I was going to school, so I wouldn't have had time to do some of the things that a varsity athlete is required to do, and it's the same with these kids. They're co-oping and they're working, and they have other activities they want to get involved in. One of our kids was the student body president. You know, you can't really do all of those kind of things and be involved in those kind of things as well as do a varsity sport.
From a player standpoint, Mitchell, would you want to add anything to what Randy just said?
Yeah, of course. Just like coming into college, I didn't really understand like what club soccer was. I kind of like thought like everyone else probably does, just recreational and more fun. But it's very competitive. We practice 2-3 days a week, and obviously you come to school to get a degree. We understand that your academics come first, and you have the ability to come to soccer, still play competitive soccer while getting a good degree, focusing on other organizations. And then there's also opportunities for leadership development. I mean, we have 48 people on our team, 4 to 5 exec positions. Other than Randy running practices and substitutions during games, it's a fully run student organization. I've come a long way from my freshman year, and you have an opportunity to tap into upperclassmen right away and focus on your academics and still enjoy a little bit of the college balance of it all.
You mentioned 48 players, which seems like a lot. Is there actually just one team or two teams, or how does that break down with 48? Because I think when someone listens to you, their first reaction is, wow, that's really a big roster, but maybe go into a little bit more of how that is.
Right, so we have our first team, which is the travel team. We generally are only allowed to roster 23 people. So we go play all the Ohio teams, so Ohio State, Rice State, Xavier, all those teams in our 10-game schedule. And then we have a second team that they play in a local league around here. So we roster 28 people because some of them can't make it on Sundays when their games are, or there's a lack of commitment from some of the second team players. So we try to roster about 48, and then
All right, a lot of people don't know this, but there's a national tournament for college club soccer. Tell us a little bit about this tournament and how competitive you have been in the past.
Well, we've been fortunate. When I took over the program 9 years ago, there's a qualification process for going to a regional and national tournament. And at that stage, it was a little less formal than what we have now. We've tried to push the program to the limit and get it as good as possible. And in that process, we would go from our first year we had 65 kids try out till recently we've had 130 kids try out. So it's grown and grown and grown. Too many kids slip through the cracks, and too many of those young freshmen aren't just quite ready to play against other grown college kids. So we developed that second team to ensure that we would be able to have kids in the pipeline to push that first team and be prepared to move in once those seniors graduate the following year. And then every year we have a chance through our league to qualify for the regional tournament, which is the 5 states, as Mitchell mentioned, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois. So that region, we all meet, and the top teams from each of the leagues in that region go to a regional tournament, and then we have an opportunity to qualify for the national tournament, where only 24 out of the 360 teams in the country get a chance to compete. And we've been fortunate to go 6 out of the last 9 years.
Very impressive. Congratulations. I think the next question happens a lot with high school seniors who thought they were good enough to play in college, played a lot of club, youth club soccer, and they're struggling. Should they go and play soccer at a varsity level or play club? What advice would both of you share with us on what they should be trying to determine?
Well, my advice would be, each year we have transfer students coming in from D2, D3 schools who didn't like the college soccer. They didn't feel like they were getting a good college experience, so they transfer, and then they find out about club. I just think people don't know about club enough, and they think the only way to still play competitive soccer is at a D2, D3 level, but they don't understand that if you go to a big school, they're going to have competitive teams that you can play on pretty much anywhere you go, so you can still enjoy college and still play competitive soccer.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Randy?
Yeah, not everyone understands the picture of how club fits in. Every college across country has club sports. Some of them have this sport as a varsity sport and this sport as a club sport. Some of them have both of them, but as varsity and club. There are schools like Pac-12 schools and SEC schools that don't have varsity programs, so all they have is club soccer programs. Some schools choose to do lacrosse, some schools choose to do water polo as varsity programs. There's only a certain number of varsity programs, both male and female, that a school can have, and some just choose not to have soccer. We are fortunate to have both at our university, but it just gives kids 2 different ways to continue to compete. We're a little less formal, a little bit more opportunity to focus on your education, and we get a lot of the kids who could have done any of those opportunities, but choose to do what we have to offer because they want to get involved in so many other things. And there's just so much that you can get involved in at the college level.
Great information here. How would someone who's attending University of Cincinnati contact you guys? Where would they find the information to sign up or ask you more questions?
We have a website that you can go to, UC Men's Club Soccer, and then there's also like student organizations that you can find online and go through contact information and find us. But UC Men's Club Soccer or Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, things like that would be the best way to probably find us.
All right, well, thank you for taking the time to come and talk with us today. Good luck to both of you in the upcoming season.
Thanks.